Hi there everyone. Today we're going to be looking at Tropical Cyclone 01 Sierra down in the Indian Ocean that could be affecting the west coast of Australia here by the latter part of this week, and also in the South China Sea. We're looking at another tropical depression up there, very disorganized at this time, and actually looking at the satellite imagery here, you can see that overall across much of the South China Sea this is a very broad area of convection and not very organized at all. But also as we look down here towards the southwest, we have the Indian Ocean here, and we're looking at this tropical cyclone 01 Sierra, and that's what I want to talk about first here on this video update today. And looking closer at Tropical Cyclone 01 Sierra, it does have winds about 40 gusting up to 50 knots right now. That is about the equivalent of a weak tropical storm, and remember this is at approximately about 0.9 for those of you worldwide watching this video update today. And at this time it is at that weak tropical cyclone intensity. It does have some vertical wind shear encountering it here along the southern periphery as an upper level trough starts to work its way in. So definitely actually by the 6th and into the 8th, so even starting tomorrow, we're going to see this really get sheared off and push quickly off towards the southeast. But for at least the next 24 hours it should start to continue to linger in this region, gaining intensity, maxing out actually with those gusty winds upwards of about 70 knots possible with this system. That's per the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. The Bureau of Meteorology still has not warned on the system. They are saying that there is a potential of tropical cyclone development along the western coast of Australia only at this time, and they're saying by about the mid part of this coming week. But looking at the water vapor imagery, you have this flow wrapping around the system here. You have some good inflow coming in from the south, countered by some dry air advection from the north. So that's really keeping the system at this weak tropical cyclone intensity right now. And lastly, if we look at the IR differential, though, you do see some of these higher cloud tops in the middle of this. So really, even though it is out over water, definitely going to be producing some rough seas out in this region, and even could be producing some high swells here for the southwestern coast of Indonesia at this time. Now I want to show you this chart really quick, and if you're not really familiar with this, this is the Dvorak intensity chart right here, and it shows this system at about a 3.5 right now, or the equivalent of about a 55 to 60 knot tropical system. So what that means is that likely on the next warning being put out by the agencies here, you're going to see the system strengthen and possibly even to a stronger tropical storm. And if it does keep on this path here before encountering that vertical wind shear, it could reach that weak tropical cyclone intensity. And that coupled with good divergence aloft as shown here, actually looking at these higher numbers as opposed to these negatives up here towards the north, that's actually just showing suppression and diffluence in the upper atmosphere. That also is allowing for the system to strengthen even more across this entire region here. So with that said, where's the system going to go? Well, let's look at some of the model outlooks first here. Looking at the UK first, seeing it continue to linger here out to the 6th before shooting off here towards the southeast on the 7th and into the 8th due to that approaching trough. The CMC model kind of backs that up as well. They bring it out farther towards the east here, and especially on the 10th and 11th, you're looking at a possible landfall here along the western Australia, and also looking at GFS here. They do expect it to kind of linger here and actually stall out before making it to Australia. So let's look a little bit closer at the GFS model outlook. This is actually one of the models I depend on more so than the other ones here. And looking aloft towards the western periphery of this model outlook here, just showing this area just southwest of Indonesia, you see that center of circulation, and you see this storm strengthen up actually fairly considerably here over the next several days, extending out to Wednesday into Thursday as shown on this outlook here, before that vertical wind shear really starts to take a major toll on it. You start to see cold air push in from the south here, and the system really overall starts to go into the extratropical phase right in here, and you can see that even on this model outlook, just because there's a warm front extending off here, and you see that cold front pushing towards the south. So this system likely, if it follows this path, will end up looking like a comma out in the Indian Ocean before it continues to drift off towards the east here, and maybe even some of the remnants here could bring some rainfall to Denham here just north of that. But if it does follow that particular model outlook, doesn't look like it's going to be a very significant system. But this is just this model. As we shown earlier, the CMC pulls it farther off towards the east. I do think it's actually going to be a little more significant than this by the time it encounters Western Australia here. My personal opinion, there's going to be some rainfall with it, probably some moderate winds. I don't think it will be anything that anybody down there along Western Australia really needs to worry about. And actually, let's just pull up the Joint Typhoon Warning Center's outlook on this system real quick. Showing it linger here and then pushing off here really quick towards the southeast. And this is just showing the position on the 9th where it has winds of about 45 gusting up to 55 knots, and already starting to see that decrease in intensity due to that increase in vertical wind shear out there. So let's look off here towards the northeast in the South China Sea, you see this little spin up here in the South China Sea moving off towards Vietnam. That is our Tropical Depression 25W. Never got named. JMA actually just kept this as a low pressure area. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center actually warned on this. I was rather surprised about that one, as the system really is being buffeted by vertical wind shear. See down here in the southwestern periphery of this map, you've seen between 20 and 40 knots of shear where this was located, and also they have that impending cold surge pushing down here towards the south as well. So that plus a really kind of a cooling sea surface temperatures up here near the coast, causing the system to continue to. And finally, noting a lack thereof overall organization with this, but it's going to be a surge of energy moving onshore towards Vietnam here, and that could bring the potential for some heavy rain showers and some localized flooding as this does move onshore, definitely right near the coast in some of those low-lying areas of the country. But as far as the model outlook actually, or just the forecast here from the Vietnam Meteorological Service here, you just see some rain showers, and actually they have some partly cloudy symbols here. They're not warning on the system at all, and really they're not really too worried about it, it seems. So this does like it could produce some localized flooding and some rains out here, but nothing more significant, definitely not anything more significant than the monsoonal rains we saw earlier this year. And as we zoom out, lastly, let's take a look at our temperatures across the entire Western Pacific and Eastern Asia here, with those highs, or excuse me, those temperatures currently of about 15 up in Tokyo here, 4 and so still very cold, but as we push towards the tropics, still pretty steamy down there with those highs, or excuse me, those current temperatures in those low 30s. So really kind of a warm day out there today. That is all for right now, everybody. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as usual, please post them in the comment box below. And also make sure you check out my new channel. I should be releasing up here in about a week or so. I'm planning on sharing you some of my weather shares across Japan and also the entire Western Pacific here as well. And lastly, if you have any on-the-ground reports here across much of the Indochina region, and specifically with this new air surge of energy moving onshore there, please share those reports as well. And also even down far south as Australia, as by the mid part of next week, as you start to see the potential for that tropical cyclone to move towards the country there. I really do appreciate those reports. But thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.